Here is your baby development guide for week 4, brought to you by Birth Announcements for Baby. Physical development. Your baby is starting to look more just like a baby and less like a newborn. She can actually hold her head up for a minute or two and is beginning to discover her own body, especially her hands, as she starts to experiment with them. Usually, motor development starts from head to toe, so the first real milestone to be reached is the control of the head, followed by the body, arms, and then the torso and legs. Most of your baby's responses at this point are still reflexive. For example, if you put your finger in her palm, she will grasp and grip it automatically. In the next month or two, these movements will become more voluntary. Social development. Babies can hear even before they leave the womb, and certainly upon delivery, hear and shudder at the loud noises surrounding them at delivery. They respond better to high-pitched sounds than they do to low-pitched ones. I guess that's why we talk to babies in those silly high-pitched tones. They are soothed and quieted by singing tones. In fact, child development research would indicate that children who have been exposed to singing early in their development tend to speak and read slightly earlier than other children who have not had similar exposure. Intellectual development. Your little one is still very vocal with the wailing at this point, for at least an hour or more per day, but at this point you have been trained to pick up on what the individual cries are trying to communicate. You have probably been able to better determine if your baby's cry is for hunger, exhaustion, boredom, loneliness, anger, messy diaper, or some other discomfort. If your baby still baffles you, make sure her diaper is clean and she's not too hot or too cold, and she doesn't need to sleep, or she had no sick symptoms like fever, stuffy nose, etc. If everything seems to be covered, it could be that she just wants attention. It's impossible to spoil your child at this age, so go ahead and play with her, be silly, and see if you can get her preoccupied with you. Studies have found that babies whose cries were ignored ended up being more fussy later on than those who were given attention.